Hello, welcome to today's video. My last video I talked about all of the potted plants in Plants vs. Zombies Garden War 2, ranked them, and gave some fun facts on what they do. I thought today would be a good time to talk about the zombie bots, which are the zombie equivalent to the potted plants. These are much more overpowered than the plant pots in pretty much every single way, since they have a ton more range, more health, and I'll just get into the various reasons on why these are so much more broken and why you're going to be dying to these zombie bots a lot. So don't forget to subscribe. Let's get the channel to 20,000 subscribers, and let's get into the video. First bot we're going to be talking about is the Uplink bot, and this is probably the best bot out of every single one. It is so broken. It has a huge explosion. It does hundreds of damage. It can hit you from across the map. It can hit multiple people at once, and it keeps firing these huge bombs everywhere. It is so absurdly good. This is probably the best thing in the entire game that you could spawn in. And on top of that, there's a legendary version you could spawn in called the DJ Uplink, which has more health, does more damage, and it's just so broken. I'm so glad you can't obtain this bot anymore unless you buy a DLC, because if someone places one of these things in, you're not allowed to play the game. This thing is so annoying, so broken, but it's also really helpful if you're trying to keep someone defended or defending one of your bases. So it's definitely the best one on this list. This is going straight into S tier, and the DJ Uplink is an SS tier. The next bot we're going to be talking about is the Gatling bot. This is the most basic of all of the bots. It's very similar to the Gatling bot on the plant side because it shoots out really low damaging shots at a fast fire rate and has a good amount of range. This bot is really good at taking out weaker opponents and drones. So this is definitely one of the better ones you could spawn in. It's actually quite powerful. So this one is going straight into the A tier. I think the Gatling bot zombie is actually pretty good. The next one we're going to be talking about is the rocket bot. This one is very similar to the Gatling bot, as it shoots giant rockets with splash damage, and they actually do a ton of damage and have a fast fire rate and a good projectile speed. So this bot has it all. Going straight into the A tier, is great at shooting out drones, great at shooting out every character in the game, can shoot you if you're hiding behind a corner because it has splash damage. This one is really good. It's also really good at taking out the weeds. I think it's better than the Gatling bot. The rocket bot is fantastic. Definitely place these in if you can.
The next bot we're going to be talking about is Mr. Freezy, and this one is also S tier. This thing is absolutely broken. It has an ice projectile, unlike the ice room, which only freezes you when you get up close, and it could freeze you within 3 shots. It also slows you down when you get hit like every other ice character in the game, and it could take out drones, so it pretty much does everything you would want it to do. It has a range, it could freeze you, it could stun you, it does a lot of damage. This thing is broken, S tier. Wow. Really good. And we're going off to another bot that is also S tier, the loudmouth bot. This one is basically the zombie version of the goop shroom, my favorite one, as when you get near it, it'll stun you, but it doesn't have the range that the goop shroom has, but it doesn't matter. The stun effect can take you out of burrow if you're a chomper, and it's just really good. It also does damage to you, so the loudmouth bot can kill you, so it could stun you and kill you, and it keeps you stunned for a really long time, so if you get hit by this thing, you'll most likely die. So the loudmouth bot is also going in the S tier. It's really good. The next bot is going to be the boxer bot. This one is going straight into D tier. This thing sucks. It does barely any damage. You have to be right next to it for it to kill you, and it doesn't even do anything. It just sucks. Don't use this one. I think it looks cool, but it's not gonna help you at all unless you don't see it for some reason. It shoots really slow. It's just bad. Sorry, boxer bot. You're going into the D tier. The next bot is the hide and shoot bot. This thing is also going into the S tier. Hide and shoot bot is basically the zombie equivalent to the scaredy shroom, as when you get near it, it'll hide, but it has really good range and projectile speed, and it does a lot of damage when it hits you. So this thing can definitely take you out if you don't see it. If you're trying to camp on a rooftop, this thing will kill you. It'll kill you if you're midair because it has really good projectile speed, and this thing is just absurd. The hide and shoot bot is definitely one you want to bring along, but it does die if you get near it, but it doesn't really matter. If you put it in a good spot where no one's going to get near it, this thing will keep sniping you, and it will take away and chip at your health
over and over again. Really, really, really good bot.
The next bot is the Explody bot. This one is also going into the S tier. The Explody bot is really, really good because it's basically like the Doom Shroom, when you get near it, it'll slowly wind down and explode and do a ton of damage, and it has a big radius. So if you put this in a doorway or where people are trying to get through and don't see it, it will explode and it will kill them instantly. Use the Explody bot in a spot where people don't see it, kind of like the hide and shoot bot, and it will catch you off guard because you will forget this thing exists. Really, really good in corners as well. The next bot is Mr. What's his name again?
Toasty.
Mr. Toasty. The next bot is Mr. Toasty. I keep forgetting this guy's name, and I keep having to record this part over and over again, but he belongs in D tier. He sucks. He does no damage. He has like fire damage, but it only does 4 per tick. It's really bad. Don't bring this thing. It has no range. It's worse than the Snapdragon somehow. It's just horrible. Don't bring Mr. Toasty, whatever his name is. He's trash. He belongs in the D tier. He looks kind of cool, but man, he's bad. Don't bring Mr. Toasty. The next bot is the Breaker bot. The Breaker bot is very similar to the Fume Shroom, as it could break through armored things like the vase weeds and all the plants that have armor, and it's actually really good at taking out those type of things. But other than that, it's basically like a nerfed Gatling bot. I still think it belongs in the A tier because it could take out the drones, and it has a surprising amount of range, and it could still kill you off guard, and it could do a little bit of damage, kind of like the Gatling bot. But I do think it's very useful for taking out the vase weeds. But other than that, it's kind of trash, but it belongs in the A tier still because it still does a lot of damage and has good range. The next bot is Mr. Toxic. This one belongs in the D tier. This one does barely any damage, but it actually has 2 attacks. It has an attack from far range, and it has an attack from close range. So if you get near it, it'll explode and release a huge toxic gas field that you have to dodge. That barely does any damage, so it's nothing really to be worried about. And the long range attack is basically like tickling you with a feather because it does nothing. So don't bring Mr. Toxic, he barely does any damage. The next bot we're going to be talking about is Mr. Electro, and this one belongs in the A tier. Mr. Electro is a really, really strong bot. It has a really good projectile speed, really fast fire rate, and solid range, and it actually does a surprising amount of damage. If you're low on health, this thing will definitely take you out from a pretty decent amount of range. The next bot we're going to be talking about, and the final normal bot, is Dr. Heals. Dr. Heals definitely belongs in the S tier. Dr. Heals is still an S tier plant, but he is worse than the Heal Flower because he can't heal himself. For those who don't know, the Heal Flower can heal itself by its sun droplets collecting himself. But the Dr. Heals cannot heal itself, so once it gets hit, it's going to die most likely. Dr. Heals, though, is still really useful because it could stop you from being on fire, stop you from being frozen, stop a jinx effect, and it's actually just really, really good because it could heal you. So you could put one of these down and camp next to it, and it's very useful, as pretty much every other heal thing is in the game. The legendary version of the Gatling bot, called the Golden Gatling bot, and it does more damage and has more health, so I think this one also belongs in the A tier because it's also really, really strong because it has a lot of health, and a powerful bot because the Gatling bot is already good, and doing more damage is really, really nice.
Just like the plants, there are a bunch of holiday versions of the zombie bots, including the Gifted Boxer bot, which is a Christmas reskin of the Boxer bot, which is just as good as the regular Boxer bot, which means not very good. There is an Easter version of the loudmouth bot called the Loud Hair bot, which is also an S tier because the loudmouth bot is fantastic, and the Easter pack can be a great way to stock up on the loudmouth bots. I personally sent 7 million coins on Easter packs last Easter because I wanted to stock up on a bunch of the loud hair bots. Packs also give you another S tier bot, including the Mr. Freezy egg, which is a Easter themed Mr. Freezy, which also is an S tier because it's a fantastic bot and it does so much damage. Because, you know, Mr. Freezy is broken and has really good freeze times, being able to freeze you in 5 hits and has long range. There's also the Bell Breaker bot, which is a Christmas themed breaker bot, which is also the same thing as the regular breaker bot. There was a Halloween version of Mr. Electro named Mrs. Frankenstorm bot, which is the same exact thing, except it has a Frankenstein skin and it does the same amount of damage, so nothing's changed there. The great thing about the Halloween pack though is that you could get the Haunted Uplink bot, which is a reskin of the regular Uplink bot, and these can be a great way to stock up on this absolutely broken bot. Uplink bots are so good. So if you want to stock up on them, buy the Halloween packs when it's Halloween time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video learning about the bots, because I thought there's not much videos on the internet talking about what all these do, and you guys were probably wondering what the best ones are to use. So I hope this video was helpful and you guys were entertained. Remember to subscribe, join the Discord server in the description, and have a great rest of your day. See you next video. Bye.